Okay. Okay, let's go. Good morning.
Fitting that you should be the one to confront us like this.
It's finally time. You think it'll go well?
I was about to say it has to.
Right. It's something only we can do. See you at the usual place after school. I'll tell everyone to come.
Of course, there's still enough time for school to get all the grades out before the final battle.
Hey!
Well, we can take solace in this, of course. They know we exist at school, they just don't know that we exist in our other identity. But we'll show them. We've got bigger things to care about right now.
Hey, check out the nav.
Yes, you are taken straight into Mementos on this day. Is this message just gonna be like, die, 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 or something?
The door to the depths of Mementos has been opened. Wait, does that mean...
We're really gonna do this, right?
I guess now Morgana's gonna learn who he really is.
Of course.
Why are you asking now?
Well... I just thought, what am I gonna do if you guys freak out and bail on me? We're going to erase Mementos, aren't we? Come on, let's go, you guys.
Mona sure seems hyped up.
It's already gone down those escalators.
Say... Isn't Mona-chan behaving... a little odd? You know, you're right.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have brought that up. Shall we get going?
And here we are at the very start.
Starting the search.
Of course, we start things off by Futaba doing a memento scan. But actually, even though there are some chests we're leaving behind, we're going to head back to the entrance and kind of ruin Morgana's ominous sort of thing there. Because what you actually need to do here, and you can go to the Velvet Room. So hi there, Caroline.
What?
She will give us some free healing. This is because you are locked in to Mementos right now. So if you don't have any sources of healing, they kind of had to do this so the player isn't, you know, locked into an unwinnable situation.
Let's do it.
However, you are still allowed to visit the airsoft shop or the clinic right now. I mean, it kind of sucks that you weren't able to do this before.
Go. All right.
But if you want to buy any weapons or armor, you can do that.
Come again.
You will be taken straight back into Mementos afterwards, though. And the clinic... Well, you know what? Let's show what Takemiya has to say if we try going to the clinic.
Really?
Yeah, we are very much taking the plunge into somewhere. You have no idea.
Want a shot? Take care.
And yeah, whatever it is we're doing, which is something big, yeah, we're not going to overdo it. you have anything special to say?
All right, let's get moving.
Not really. Okay. Let's head all the way to the end of the Path of Sherryruth. Because our next destination is the Planet Core. Which is through here.
Hey, so, this shit here's that door to the depths, right?
It should be. Why? What's wrong?
I don't know, it looks just like all the other ones. I was thinking it's a little disappointing.
Yeah, final dungeon doorways are usually a lot more ominous than that.
Maybe we worked too hard to get down here or something.
The lack of unforeseen circumstances is nothing to complain about. Let us continue.
But I will also say that if you haven't by now and you're in the vanilla game, definitely go up to an earlier floor and grab Crystal Skull. This may be your last chance to do so. Path of
The hell is this?
Wealth, it looks like? So this one means ignorance. It's a Hebrew word meaning stupidity or ignorance. It's an inversion of kokma or wisdom.
It's some big fossil-looking thing. So this must be the treasure.
It also seems like it's the train station that all of these trains we've been seeing, these tracks we've been seeing, have been headed towards.
Wait, look on the side. It's the train running down to Mementos. So this is where that crowd of people was trying to reach?
People are walking in and out of there, so the other side of the wall must be... Wait. It's not a wall, but a giant door?
Guess that means the treasure's not here. Come on, let's stay focused.
Remember that everyone were getting on these trains willingly. Maybe that would explain why the general public was so inclined to just, blindly trust Shido and ignore us.
Is this thing seriously a door? How are we supposed to get past?
Apparently like that.
It opened straight away. I bet that means the inner depths the meta-nav was talking about before are right ahead.
Almost as if somebody's inviting us in.
Hold on. The door only opens from this side.
What do you mean?
Well, I took a quick peek at the mechanism inside the door, and it looks like you can only open it from here. We can get in, but nothing can get out.
It's as though whatever lies within has been locked away. Wait, so you're saying that the people going in there are choosing a life of imprisonment?
I have never felt such eeriness before. What is this place?
We'll find out once we reach the depths. Come on, let's go.
If you've got any bad endings, this music might sound familiar to you. I told you we'd be hearing it again someday. Or at least that I wish that we did. This song has multiple different translations, but the one I prefer is Freedom and Security.
No.
Well, if you look at those walls and those bars, I think it's pretty obvious what everyone thinks this place is. All of the other dungeons have been places that Phantom Thieves would be likely to raid. So it only is fitting for the final dungeon to be a jailbreak.
But
We are jailbreaking the general public. Breaking them out of their own prison in their own minds. Welcome to the true depths of Mementos. We can talk to Caroline for healing here, but one thing I do want to stress... also, it's not entirely obvious, but you can actually save here. This counts as a safe room. Actually, two things I want to stress. In Vanilla Persona 5, this was the only safe room in this dungeon until the very end. It only had two. They've changed that significantly in Royal, but the other thing I want to stress is, even though Futaba made it sound like you had a point of no return before, you actually didn't. You can freely go back into normal Mementos if you want to grind, get more personas. Yeah, so I don't know exactly why they put that dialogue in there. It feels like it's more for lore reasons than it is for gameplay reasons. Because yeah, this is absolutely not a point of no return. One final thing before we head into the depths. Today is your last chance to complete the Strength Confidant. If you have not done it by now, I would highly suggest finishing it. So, as we start the depths of Mementos, I am happy to announce I've got a special guest with this episode. If you'd like to introduce yourself, please.
Hi guys, I'm Lady. You can just call me Lady, although my channel name is LadyVirgilia. And yeah, I've just been very happy to join Clingy. We've been, you know, pretty good friends for many years now, I feel. Right?
Yeah, it's
like,
been kind of like two-ish. Like, I met you with, like, your Strikers streams. But, like, basically, yeah, go ahead and check out her... I highly recommend checking out her Persona analysis videos in Japanese context. They're all fantastic. Just looking at Haru here, especially the Haru one. Like, I had no idea what Mukuyoshi was until I saw her video, and that explains so much about Haru's arc.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for the kind...
But,
yes.
And I've brought you along for this because the Mementos depths in particular, the Japanese societal issue that it goes into is one that I feel isn't really talked about that often, and it is pretty crucial to the themes of this game. We'll be seeing that in a moment, but first, I just want to make sure, I want to bring Arn and Yusuke here because there's a lot of things that are weak to fire and ice at the start of this area, and I'm also going to bring Morgana because he just got a Persona upgrade, and I want to show that off.
Yeah! Mona love! Let's go!
And so now we are greeted with the true horror of the depths of humanity's evil, waiting in lines.
Oh, yeah. Or queues in some parts of the world.
Oh yeah, we call them lines like where I am. Now I forgot that it's like a different kind of term in America, but yeah.
No, America we do call them lines too. I think it's only the original, like, Brits that still call
Also,
them
Mementos has a security meter now, and it's horrifying.
Is it?
So, yeah, that's a thing. You didn't see that earlier in Mementos.
I didn't even realize. Oh my god, I never really paid attention to that. That is very horrifying.
It's a thing, and Mementos never had any security before, which implies that something strange is going on here.
Wow.
Just as Haru's saying.
Dude, wait, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, because Morgana specifically mentions when you're first in Mementos that you don't need to worry about like attracting the Palace Ruler's attention because it's the collective unconscious and it's made up of multiple people. In fact, Morgana specifically said the only way you'd be able to raise the security level in here is to do something that would turn the entire public against you. So keep that in mind as we enter this area.
Interesting.
What is this place?
I'm so
Are those chains on them?
It's a little hard to hear unless you're on headphones, but you can hear voices like, "I'm so happy."
Yeah.
Is this a prison?
The, like, little whispers.
Who's captured here?
Yeah.
Technically speaking, I would say it's someone's shadow.
And technically speaking, I would say it's everyone's shadow.
They're saying something.
Come on, don't be out there and come on in.
Don't open the cells, okay? I have no intention of leaving this place.
They feel safe being here? What are you saying? You're being kept in a prison.
This reminds me of Kamoshida's castle. They're like the slaves we saw there.
Kinda, except those slaves weren't real people or real shadows. They were just Kamoshida's imagination.
Like his own cognition.
That's right.
Yeah.
This place is the best in the end.
Also, oh no, it's the bathhouse guy from LeBlanc! How dare you betray us!
Oh
The
no!
depths within is a system that grants desires.
A system that grants
Desires?
Something like that exists? Here?
It's no use. You can't reason with these people.
They're truly distorted, just like the scenery here.
I really
You're not
like
searching for
Mementos,
stuff or
like,
be in
design
trouble
and
because you're
GL.
outside the prison.
Yeah, I actually do too, just like we'll see more of it as we go in, but just these sort of like web-like designs on the walls, and it's kind of like, I actually really like this dungeon. I feel like I'm one of the few in P5's fan base who likes Mementos depths as a dungeon.
I like it
but
too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually one of my favorites. The music's also great, but I'll go over that later.
There are things you don't need to know to live on.
And as this guy is saying, it's best to lie to yourself, live in blissful ignorance. But didn't we already learn not to do that in Persona 4?
Yeah. But a lot of
Seems
people,
like the
P5
details
is
on
their
the
first
system.
Persona
Locked
game at
quarantine
this
cell.
point.
True, yeah. But it's like, you'd think that the actions of the investigation team would have kind of helped humanity realize that, but...
Maybe
yeah,
it's
seems
because
like some people...
it was really only, like, Inaba, if you really
Yeah,
think
that's
about
true.
it. Yeah.
Also, yes, they're saying things like, oh yeah, don't pay attention to anything, especially not the quarantine cell.
Quarantine? Who's locked in there?
Supposedly a great and truly dangerous criminal. But who would want to check a place like that?
Like, dude, you specifically mentioned that place exists, now we just want to check it out even more.
Exactly.
Calm down. We don't have to chat like this.
It's like it's like kind of a lore of RPGs. Anytime any NPC says, whatever you do, don't go to this place, you always have to go to that place.
Yeah, you're like, I know exactly what the mission is now.
Huh? Mona?
Why are you out and about? Where are your restraints?
Oh crap!
Removing your restraints is not allowed.
But we never had any restraints to begin with. We weren't even in this prison.
Outsiders must be eliminated.
This is Monopoly. We're in the just visiting section of the jail tile.
Oh my god. Man, I haven't played Monopoly in so long.
Yeah, it's can get pretty ridiculous.
Everyone, hang in there! Focus
Long games, dude. Like, totally worth it
Yeah.
if you can finish, but like... NGL,
Also,
4 hours.
if you're using the house rules, it actually makes the game like significantly longer. It actually is pretty fast if you don't use any of the house rules.
I see. Is
But
there
anyway.
like a new version of Monopoly 2 that makes it way faster?
Maybe. But yeah, this right here is an enemy that you'll recognize if you've got the Will Seed in Okumura's palace. And it has the same weakness as their wind, but what's really cool about this is... they're going next, okay then. Revolution's kind of annoying, especially since they can use God's Hand, but what I like about this is...
Yeah!
Right after Morgana gets a new persona, the literally first enemy you fight is weak to wind.
Taking over.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
I call
fantastic.
I call that good game design personally. It's like the player will probably have Morgana in the party if they want to just like show off his, like if they want to see his new persona. So like, and then the first thing you fight is weak to it. It's just pretty cool.
Yeah. Like, it rewards you for wanting to check it out. His new evolution.
Yeah, it's pretty cool like that. But I don't know if these are exactly the same shadow as the one as Okumura's Will Seed, but it does have the same name. Every time I see... Okay, you got Magarodine, that's fine. Actually, wait, no. I want to see if I can get the finisher here with Morgana. I like doing that in, like, everyone's first battle after they get a new persona. Because it's rare that you can, like, some mini-bosses don't let you get all-out attack finishes, but I've been trying to get all the ones I can. I especially love getting it on Haru's fiancé with Haru, because that is definitely possible.
Oh.
Yeah, some, like, in the Awakening battles, some of them, like, as I've shown earlier in the playthrough, some of them, like Yusuke's, don't actually let you get a finisher, but some of them, like this mini-boss fight, do. And in Haru's, you actually can get her all-out attack finisher against him, which is amazing.
That was careless of us. It should be no
Yeah, that's
surprise
pretty,
that a
like,
prison has
fitting.
guards.
Regarding her feelings towards him.
Yeah.
Wait a sec. This is everyone's palace, right? Not like Kamoshida's castle. Who's keeping these people here?
Mona-chan? I remember now. I've seen this place before.
Another cool thing about this palace is it's pretty much Mona's arc of this game as well.
Mm-hmm. Like it's his dungeon.
Hold on, though.
Yeah.
Like everyone
it
else
wasn't
got
open
one.
until we came here today.
Yeah, because like Shido's palace was Joker's spotlight arc, and now we've got Morgana's finally.
Let's go.
Sorry, it's just a sense I'm getting. Still, it feels like I'm really close to remembering something important.
You know, coming in here was what you wanted from the beginning. We just gotta keep moving on.
On top of that, I'm curious to know who the ruler of this place is.
Yeah, you're right. Wait, what about these people? Leave them be. They'll be taken care of if we erase Mementos.
They are actually shadows, though, rather than just cognitions, so we do have to be kind of careful, because if any of them actually die, like, that would affect their real selves.
Yeah.
Hey, it's
Kind of
dangerous
like
to keep
what
standing around here.
Akechi
Let's get going.
Yeah.
doing.
In fact, I almost wonder if this is kind of if Akechi, because there are implications that Akechi didn't know what Mementos is, so maybe Akechi was actually going in here somehow. I don't know.
Like what you
was-
mean, like without actually going through, like upper
Mementos,
Mementos.
like I'm not sure, because like when you first go to Mementos with Akechi, it's implied that he doesn't know what it is.
Are you aware of a lot of like the true Akechi like they're super obsessed, like every single headcanon like little inkling they want to find about like Akechi fans? There are a lot of different theories they have.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of people who are quite crazy about Akechi and his various fan theories, but anyway,
No sudden movement.
we'll be going into more about Akechi and like, you know, things like that a little bit later in this palace, but we've first we've got this thing. I know its weaknesses because I've already fused one before, but I don't like the fact that it drains Psi, because it means I can't just do easy technical combos on it. It also drains fire, so Arn has got issues here. And it's going next, so I want to try and didn't get shocked, so it's going to attack me. And of course it goes for Yusuke, who's weak to that. Oh, okay, what? Okay.
Oh no!
This, like, I said, I got this in Kamoshida's palace, and I thought that when I did, I would never see this again for the rest of the whole game, because it's so rare outside of, like, very early game. Give me some of your stamina. Oh yeah, and now I can finally show this. How could you take that from... She's referring to Yusuke as that. But yeah, that's one of Arn's
she does have
abilities.
Carmen,
Victory is ours.
who has literally those two little minions it like steps on.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
How could you take my boy toy slave, Yusuke?
I just like how she just calls him that. But but yeah, it's like that's one of her confidant abilities, and you almost never get to see her use it, because by the time you get her confidant high enough, you probably not even
You'll like never see it again. Probably.
See a hostage negotiation again.
The funniest thing is on my Persona 5 Royal playthrough, the first time I saw the hostage negotiation was literally in this dungeon. It was only in Mementos depths. That's when I saw it for the first time. But like, to be fair, I was playing on, I think I was playing on hard.
Okay, I'm on hard too, but but yeah, no, it's just kind of like, it's sort of, because usually at this point you beat enemies so quickly that they don't really get much of a chance to hit weaknesses.
Yeah, sorry, because I was trying to refer to like I wasn't playing on like the highest difficulty or anything, because you know, because like both of us are Persona veterans, so it's like the difficulty of Royal is like compared to any of the Persona games, it's like very
Yeah,
Easy.
except for Okumura. It's like one other thing that I think about this game, and that's something that I've gone into in an earlier video, is the actual battle system. I think, like, if the difficulty, like, if there was a legitimately really high difficulty mode, the battle system of Royal is excellent. Like, with the, like, baton pass and all of that, and all those mechanics, it's actually really fun. It's just there are so few, like, truly difficult fights. Like, it's why Okumura's boss fight is my favorite boss in the game.
Yeah, because you actually have to, like, make use of the strategies they've given you.
Yeah, because a lot of fans think that, like, not a lot of fans, but, like, there's a lot of people who, and I understand if people just want to play for the story, but, like, apparently the developers got death threats for the Okumura boss fight because people got roadblocked by it.
Oh no! People can even, like, lower the difficulty if they want to.
And in fact, if you're on
menu.
Merciless, it's easier because they take more damage from weaknesses and technicals.
Yeah, like, you take way more damage too, but they also take, right? So, they take...
Yeah. So anyway, we have these puzzles here, and they're pretty simple. You just have to change all the floor tiles to blue. And then go back and activate this again. And this is where that aesthetic of Mementos that we were talking about earlier, I just love this. Like, it's hard for me to describe, but this kind of, I think it is actually a type of geometric pattern. It's like a sort of graph that you can get this out of.
Oh, hey, I mean, this is the collective unconscious, like, dungeon/palace, right? So it's like, you know how math and stuff is always seen as similar, right?
Yeah, to quote a line from Chie in Persona 4. No, it's one of your responses to Chie. Math is the enemy of mankind.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I love that. Also, these enemies just show up behind you, but you can just attack them. Exploding Melchizedek. Against exploding shadows, I like to do this. Like, Yusuke loses a bit of his, like, I feel like Ryuji outclasses Yusuke at the very end of the game, so, like, here, but Yusuke can still do this.
Yeah! Overkill!
I love Yusuke's, like, his baton pass boosted attacks. I feel like not a lot of people really, like, it's something that a lot of people miss, like, when playing this game, but, like, it's just, if you really know, like, it's the fact that, and this is not entirely obvious to many players at first, especially if P5 is your first Persona game.
Yeah.
You're weak to fire, you're why I have Arn. Also I have Debilitated Morgana here, I can show that. But basically, so... a lot of people, it takes them a while to realize that all-out attacks aren't always optimal.
Yeah. Because there's even some shadows, I should say, are, like, kind of resistant to Almighty.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot of them, especially some of the bosses or mini-bosses that, I'm so surprised I got the hook there, but that, they basically, they take like 100 damage from all-out attacks, but they'll take over 1,000 if you go for, like a baton pass hit on them.
Yeah, like, cause it's better to just, like, keep boosting. Like, just keep passing on the baton pass against some of the bosses.
Yeah. And, like, especially, like, the mini-bosses, or even just without even baton pass, just hitting them again while they're down sometimes just does more than an all-out attack would. And that's true of Persona 4 as well. Persona 3, the all-out attack tends to be kind of overpowered, though.
Yeah, like, Almighty in P3 is a lot, like, there's a lot less, like, resistant bosses. And then P4 has legitimate, like, resist.
Yeah,
like,
P4
Almighty things, where it's like, it's better to literally, like, it's so weird how it would say, like, the boss is strong against all the other elements, but it still takes more damage from that element than, like, trying to do all-out attacks.
But, that's cool about Almighty, but, like, this right here, this is starting to get into what this dungeon is sort of representing.
Yeah, like...
the people in these prison cages. And also, Ryuji commented earlier they have these veins kind of coming out of their heads, and it looks like they're feeding something by being in these prisons. There's also a guy over here.
And it's all red, so it's like, it also has that, feeling of it's literally taking people's, like, life force. So it's like blood kind of feeling.
Yeah, so, these straight hallways are great for the hook here. This place, is just kind of, like, in terms of what it's going into, I guess you could call it a palace, because it technically is one, but all of the others were covering, specific Japanese societal issues, and it'll be a little bit more obvious what this is going into a little bit later on in Mementos, but this one is specifically going into, the Japanese concept of shikata ga nai.
Like, it's like in casual Japanese, it's just like people, you'll hear, if you listen to subs, for example, in like anime a lot, you will hear them say like, shoganai, or like, shoganai ne, like people will say that a lot. So, shikata ga nai is like the,
formal.
like normal, like polite way to say it.
It's literally like shikata is literally method of doing, and then nai is like negative. So it's like literally there is nothing that can be done.
Yeah, and then it basically translates to like this is how it is. Like that's just how it is. And I think like when you combine that with like the influence that like a lot of Confucian values have had like in Japan and also a lot of like Asia in general, like when it comes to respecting like your authority figures and stuff. I think it sounds like shikata ga nai sounds very like fatalistic.
Yeah.
Potentially, because then a lot of people don't really stand up for themselves.
Because like even in the language itself, this is where things get a little annoying because one of these enemies is immune to fire and ice, and the other is weak to the other one. But yeah, even like in terms of the language itself, like there's Keigo and all of those different politeness levels. It's kind of like you're expected to show a certain level of respect towards anyone above you in hierarchy, like teachers or parents or social superiors, like politicians.
Yeah, like the deference is there.
And it's like on one hand, like something that I've learned from some of your videos as well is that like it's this whole idea of showing respect to people isn't inherently a bad thing, and in some cases the West being almost the opposite can be equally an issue where people just sort of assume the worst of anybody in authority even without any evidence.
Show me your true form.
Yeah.
Like one thing that I feel about a lot of Western societies is that like I feel like the elderly are treated really badly in a lot of Western societies.
Yeah, like because like I've worked in a lot of like what's they're called geriatric population, but a lot of like elderly people, a lot of like senior like daycare centers, and also just like the sort of retirement like communities and stuff. In the past, and it is really sad in my opinion to see like there's a lot of people who like, so for example, a lot of families who are like maybe first or second generation who come from like places like Asia or even like Africa, like a lot of collectivists, like places in Latin America, it's like you will have a multi-generational household. So it's like the grandparents, like once they're too old to necessarily take care of themselves, they come to like live with the like daughter or son. So they come live in the household. Meanwhile, like at the end of the day, all different cultures. It just like, you know, it just like depends on like what your culture values. But I've noticed that people tend to just kind of have this mentality of we're going to put grandma in like the nursing home now.
Focus.
Kind of like mentality of just like, we'll visit, you know, every once in a while, but other than that, it's like, you know, like it just feels a little bit more removed compared to like oh, now my mom is too old to take care of herself, so now she's going to live in like the downstairs bedroom kind of thing of like our house.
Cause my like I actually like that actually happened with my with my grandmother, and I noticed that a lot of the staff of the nursing home that she was in, a lot of them had Asian backgrounds.
Yeah, I think it is, you know, like not to really stereotype, but I've noticed that like there does come generally a lot of the times like at least a little bit more, I don't know how else to call it, but just like care when there's like a lot of the more like, from what I've noticed at least, when it comes to like people who maybe from like Latino, Latina, Asian, like a lot of cultures that might have grown up in a more like collectivist mentality culture.
Next.
But yeah, but once again, I don't want to like paint everyone as like a monolith. And at the same time, it's like the problem with a lot of nursing homes, unfortunately, is that like so many of them are for profit because a lot of them, at least in the US, a lot of them are privately owned. So there's like a for-profit motive coming out of them, and that means that they'd rather like short staff like the people, and that just creates more burnout for the staff that's left. So it's like a lot of the times it's not really even the staff's fault that like there's just not enough care, or like they seem a little like, I know some people will think at least in the US, they'll be like, how is it that like my mom was sitting here and she wanted to go to the bathroom for so long, but there was no one to help her there? And it's because, well, I mean, want to talk to the company? They're the ones who just like cut the pay of like a ton of workers or laid off a lot of the staff.
On to the next try.
And so because of that, like I think here, it's not necessarily, I'm just trying to say like it's not necessarily the nursing home mentality that's like bad in and of itself. It's just that like the way it's implemented is not that great.
Yeah.
Here.
And I feel like there's just a, like, it's kind of a general lack of, like, respect for aged people, I feel, as well. Like, in general, like, and sometimes I feel in Western cultures, sometimes they're treated like, just like, really big children in a way, as opposed to, you know, people who've been through a lot in life and have a lot of wisdom to offer.
Yeah, like, they're like, infantilized a lot. In the same way a lot of people with disability are treated that way. You know?
Yeah,
because...
Yeah, that really sucks when that happens.
Yeah, right? Like, I know...
I just want to point out that I never noticed this before, that Futaba has her own, like, little laptop bench in these safe rooms.
She's just chilling.
But yeah, these safe rooms are entirely new and royal, by the way. Yeah, in the original, again, there was the only safe rooms in this place in the original were at the very start and the very end.
Yeah, I remember that. This is why this dungeon felt so long. In the in vanilla.
Yeah, it's one of those, like Royal, as you said, definitely made a lot of things easier, but this is one change I appreciate, because I feel like it's sort of not just, like, making things easier, but it's just, you know, kind of, you know, it's a little more like easier for the player when it comes to
Yeah,
like,
it's
oh,
just
yeah,
it's
you can-
just QOL. It's
Yeah, QL, because like the player can now take a break whenever they want in this dungeon rather than having to like they'll feel pressured to
I'll just
complete the
add
whole
this.
thing in one sitting before.
Yeah, because the thing is that like the option is never bad, really, in my opinion. In the sense where it's like, if you want to continue your challenge, you don't have to use safe, right? But
Yeah.
like for people who do need to like rest up or like take a breather, all that stuff, like they have an option now.
Yeah.
Instead of just like, or like the people who are just literally, oh shoot, I can't play this game anymore, now I just have to leave it on.
Yeah,
'Cause I
that's
can't
exactly
save.
what I was gonna say. Like if you're playing at like midnight and you have a like work the next day and it's like, oh, I need to stop, but there's no save point.
Yeah, so it's just like awkwardly just leaving it on for like another 18 hours until like I come back. Add 18 hours to my playtime when I was just AFK.